Meanwhile, at the same time, while Putin's special envoy in Washington, D.C. is publicly and repeatedly going on and on about the so-called monster's supposed love for peace and deep desire for harmony, Putin's relentless propaganda machine is actively whipping up and fueling the ferocity, anger, and aggression of the Russian population. And let's also take a moment to note and observe the fact that the universe's television gluttons, those who consume endless hours of TV, are all quite remarkably in great shape and excellent physical condition. And if you listen to Russian television, they've already wiped out Kharkiv and Odessa too. But now they're finishing off Poltava. All the videos are posted on my Telegram channel. Take a look there. The most important ones, and they're not taken out of context, but are full segments, so you don't have to soil your eyes with this filth. And at the same time, these segments give a very clear idea of what's actually happening there. And now Solovyov is tired of sparing the civilian population of Ukraine, so for him, all Odessans are doomed, they're dead, and the people of Kharkiv are even deader than the Odessans. The people of Kharkiv are crawling under the ruins, begging Solovyov for mercy, but Solovyov is unyielding. He demands that everyone be executed. And it must be said that Solovyov is doing his job in general brilliantly, because the Russian rabble is absolutely ecstatic. Of course, the propagandists of Russian fascism have seen better days with bigger budgets. But then all of a sudden, Skabiva started whining. He thinks there isn't enough money for the war. And she, apparently, is already just about ready to sell her own organs to replenish the coffers of the Ministry of the Russian Federation. The Belarusian Ozaranok is giving something up. It seems like he's getting fatter and turning into a quiet type. He's almost stopped yelling and rolling his eyes. He stopped yelling for an obvious reason. Maybe it's some kind of mouth hemorrhoid. And this chubby guy only flares up to remind everyone of the need to obey the Potato Security Committee of the Republic of Belarus. And Sobchak, yes, Sobchak, she's very successful at calming the panic of the intellectuals who are justified in all these sanctions. Justified. They sensed threats to the Russian Reich and got discouraged, realizing that in general it's already too late to change sides. It's too late, it won't work. And Sobchak's work is a true feat of sewage cleaning. Because Ksenia Anatolievna is working with, in Lenin's words, the shit of the nation. And in the video, there's Sobchak probably teaching the Russian intelligentsia how to properly dismember Zelensky. We often joke about this topic, but at the same time, we recognize and understand that they're all doing their job. And this work, alas, is irreversible. This poisoning of the mind, the national mind, works perfectly. This is the poison spread by Solovyov or Skabiva or Sobchak. It spreads, fills the folds of the brain, gets absorbed, and madness becomes part of the Russian consciousness. If you were to do a biopsy or cytology, it would inevitably turn out that part of the cortex has been replaced by these secretions, Sobchak, Solovyov, Skabiva, and other agitators of the Russian Reich. So in short, no matter what Putin tells Trump about peace, this obsessive howl from all the killers is getting louder, stronger, and coming from everywhere. But while Solovyov simply kills everyone, Sobchak does a much subtler job. She indoctrinates that fascism is in no way a problem and in no way spoils a beautiful and comfortable life. It's a strong move. She explains that it's important to be useful to fascism, and then your life will be sweet as chocolate. And her entire style, her way of life, they teach you to be loyal to fascism. She has the toughest front to work on because her audience isn't Solovyov's rabble who listen to everything with their mouths hanging open. Her audience tastes things capriciously. Fearfully, she's always on edge because, well, yes, the Russian intelligentsia has gone along with Putin's fascism, but she constantly needs to be reassured. She always needs to be calmed down, always needs her nerves soothed. She loves to torment herself with pangs of conscience, and even more, she loves it when someone explains to her how useless it all is. And the hopelessness of a private, solitary rebellion, then the intelligentsia asks to have these magic words repeated to them as often as possible. Well, really, Sobchak is doing a great job. Her service to the Russian Reich is colossal. And these advantages of loyalty to fascism, she demonstrates them masterfully. So why am I saying all this? It's because the internet has become extremely animated by the news that Sobchak has applied for somewhere, not just somewhere, but in Spain, for a residence permit. Moreover, it seems that she may have already been granted it, or maybe not. Well, most likely, this is a standard operation, a move into emigration. It wasn't enough for the Kremlin to crush, divide, and fragment the emigration of good Russians. They also want to grind them into dust. And here I have to say, this is actually quite a reasonable move because she will easily blend in. There is a circle she won't be allowed into, but that circle is very small. And here, by the way, I see a very good, well-phrased question being asked. Here someone writes to me saying that I call all of them agitators and propagandists. Please explain the difference between agitation and propaganda and journalism. Let me explain just a moment. Everything that is allowed is not journalism. Journalism begins with what is forbidden.